everybody, and welcome back to the Lokalfeed show. My name is Akila, and our guest today is Juliana Iskandar. Juliana is the co-founder and editor of the amazing Gaya Magazine, and she is absolutely full of light, love, and positivity. On this episode, we talked about Gaya Magazine and how one decision can open up room to many more opportunities in achieving her dreams, telling stories, and how important it is to speak your mind and have an opinion even if it's a controversial topic, and of course, how to achieve your dreams no matter how bold it is. Before we get to it, if you want to support us, there's a few ways you can do so. You can share an episode with a friend, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, or even iTunes. If this is not your first episode, we truly appreciate the time taken for you to listen to these amazing stories. We really appreciate you. Thanks for being here. So, without further ado, remember, be bold and stay inspired. Here is the gloriously amazing Juliana Iskandar. Thank you, Juliana, for joining us today as one of our esteemed guests. You're awesome.
Thank you.
We'd love to get to know more about you. Okay, so just to start off, all right, just tell us a little bit, about yourself and what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. Okay. My name is Juliana Iskandar. What do I do on a daily basis? A lot of things, actually. I run a digital marketing agency.
Okay.
So that's my bread and butter. But I am also the founder of Gaya Magazine. So that is my baby.
Awesome. Because that's the one that I really want to dive into today.
Sure.
Just with the part where you're the founder of Gaya Magazine. Tell us your story. Well, what is the story behind the magazine?
Gaya means style, right, in Malay. So when I started it, and to be honest, it wasn't really my idea to start this anyways. My uncle came to me with this idea because he runs a publishing company.
Okay.
And he has tons of trade magazines under his house. And he came to me with this idea of a consumer magazine. So I said, okay, let's do a fashion magazine, something lifestyle, something geared towards women, because... Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Me. It started from there. I had just come back from Qatar after living there for like 5 years.
Okay.
So I had time on my hands, so I'm starting my own company, I said, okay, let's do this.
Okay.
That's how it started. It was actually geared towards the local community, just for Singapore. That's why it was named Gaya, a Malay word, something we can understand and can resonate with. I didn't know that it would go like international,
Wow.
I really honestly, I didn't know. That was not my plan.
Yeah.
It was just for a local, publication or, for the local scene to kind of be a platform to showcase local entrepreneurs and local talent.
Cool.
Because we have so many.
Okay.
We have so many people who are coming up with halal cafes or, new modest fashion brands, and they're all like quiet in their little bubble, and I wanted to kind of showcase that beauty and that entrepreneurial spirit.
That's awesome. Cool. So you did mention that it was supposed to be a local publication, and then now it has gone international. So tell us a little bit of that. What's the stats like now? Which countries are people actually reading Gaya?
US, the UK,
Wow, okay.
Europe, Australia.
Wow.
That's our biggest market.
That's huge. Okay. All over Asia as well?
All over Asia, primarily Singapore and Malaysia.
Okay. So how do you track this? Do you have you can see that people actually go on and then you touch base with your readers?
Yes.
How do you...
I touch base a lot with our writers, actually, because a lot of our content are written by women.
Okay.
We don't have a team of writers. We literally open the doors to whoever wants to write.
Okay.
Whether they have a story to tell, whether they have a new business venture. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
So it's just open to everybody. And that's how I touch. That's how I know where they're from.
Okay. Cool. So how did that actually come about then? When you first started it, you wrote your own articles first, and then how did that happen? Okay, so what was the timeline? for Gaya? Like when you first started, you came back from Qatar and then...
Wow. I came back from Qatar. Everything went in motion. It was so quick. December 2013 was our first issue. Rushed like mad.
Cool, that's like nearly 5 years now, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
So exciting. So, I wrote everything by myself at the time.
At the start.
At the start, yeah. And then I think around like the third issue, second or third, I started getting a lot of these international interest.
Wow.
So we started getting a lot of people writing in saying, "Can I tell my story? I have a story to tell." Especially in such a social climate that we live in today. I think people have, I don't know, they want to write something or tell their story as a form of like a catharsis.
Yeah.
And I think we, thankfully we provide a safe platform for their stories to be told.
Cool. So, in about the third issue, it just somehow grew. So that wasn't part of the plan.
No, my God.
What was the initial plan then? Like, if you were to look back, like in 2013, when you first started writing all the articles yourself.
Honestly?
I don't know.
I swear.
That's awesome.
Because when I started, it was like I said, I had my blinders on. I was like, okay, this is going to be for Singapore market. So who do I target? Okay, and I had my list. But by the third issue, I had interest from the UK first. So I had a lot of, modest fashion brands coming and saying, can I be featured? Or bloggers to say, oh, can I write? And I thought, but my blinders were on. So I was like, no, but this is only for Singapore. No, how? And then, and with the name Gaya, I thought, do you
sort
understand that?
Yeah.
I think language is just beyond that. I didn't think, it was so amazing. It transcended that. So, so I opened the door and said, okay, fine. Let me ride the wave and see what happens from here, right? So, they came in and boom, here we are today.
There you go. That is really awesome.
It's a
very
snowball.
inspiring.
Yeah, so amazing. And we have amazing people, that's the thing,
Yeah.
And I'm so glad, I'm so blessed to have these people in my life, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. All right, we'll touch on those people that you work with on a daily basis. Okay. For now, all right. So you mentioned that Gaya, the word Gaya. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Gaya. What is Gaya? Well, we cover a lot of different angles as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned entrepreneurial. We support entrepreneurs and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us what is Gaya and any other, like, is it somehow fashion?
Yeah.
Because when someone hears the Gaya, they'll be like, oh, I think this is a bit fashion-ish. So tell us.
Well, it started as a fashion, magazine. So Gaya means style, and we wanted to showcase a lot of new modest fashion. And it's not like your typical Muslim fashion. And I want to be clear. There's the difference between Muslim fashion and modest fashion.
Okay.
Muslim fashion, you're talking about anything pertaining to, following the religious, dictating by religions, and that's not religious. But if you talk about modesty, that's subjective. Modesty can be 3/4, it can be short sleeves. It's up to you, whatever you derive as modest. So modesty, it doesn't necessarily mean the hijab either. If you don't have the hijab, that's fine. So a lot of times people ask me, do you need a model that wears a hijab? No, we're a modest fashion magazine. You're not a Muslim fashion magazine. There's a difference.
Okay. All right.
So we focus on fashion, but we use fashion to talk about deeper issues. When we started, it was purely, we had the makings of traditional magazine, fashion, beauty, food, health, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But after the third issue, I felt like something was missing. It didn't have a heart to me. It didn't have some substance. It didn't have a story. So in the third issue, I decided to write my own personal story.
Okay.
Something about struggling with my identity and my faith, my background, my journey. I was so scared to put it out because I love to write, but I always kept it to myself.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, let's just give it a try out. So I put it in. I called this title Inspired, like as if I was going to inspire people. No. But,
but you are.
Well, at that time I was like, okay, never mind. Let's just name it Inspire for now. Put it out there, and it resonated with so many people from around the world, and I was so amazed. People writing me saying, oh, we love your story, can I write my story? So that's how it snowballed. People wanting to come up and say, I have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Can you feature me? Can I tell my story? Whatever it may be, struggle with faith, struggle with identity, struggling with racism in your own country. You know? And those were controversial topics, but I was like, if we don't touch on it, then we'll never explore this. Is that okay?
Wow, that's really awesome. So from your story, it actually opens up opportunities for people to tell their story. So how does that make you feel? Like, you said that you went out to inspire, but
I know, right?
so how did you, what is the why? So now after that third issue, what is the why that actually led you to let others tell their story from your own experience?
Why we should tell the story? Well, I think through storytelling, we kind of break down that barrier between other people. Because when we see, let's say, a non-Muslim sees a Muslim, right? They'll be like, a little bit, with such, social climate that we live in, we kind of feel a bit uncertain.
Okay.
Right? But if we tell our story, we break down that barrier. We go deep into the soul of the person and we see them for who they are, not what we see on the outside. And that starts a conversation. That starts a friendship beyond what you see on the outside.
Cool. And that's a very important point, isn't it? Like, it starts a conversation and it starts a friendship, because I think we need more of that. Like,
yes, we need love.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about that, because, you did mention about Muslim fashion and modest fashion. Was that ever a problem, like at the start, when people somehow be like, oh, Gaya is just another Muslim magazine? So how did you actually overcome that?
Actually, there's 2 points.
Okay.
One part, you have people who are saying this is a Muslim fashion or Muslim magazine, and then you have another camp that says you're not Muslim enough.
Okay.
Because you have women who wear the turban, or you have women who supposedly not wear the hijab, right? That sort of thing. And I look at it as it's up to your own perspective. It's up to your own judgment. We don't judge. Right? All we can do is accept, respect, and love.
Okay.
That's how I see things.
Okay, but how about your readers? Are they usually very open-minded? Like, what kind of readers do you normally get?
Thankfully, we do get a lot of open-minded readers.
So has that kind of evolved over the years when you first started, or has it always been, your target market has always been that open-minded? Some more people who doesn't really, whatever camp you belong in, they just really stand in the middle.
It's always been open-minded, and that's the beauty of it, and that's quite surprising.
Okay.
You would think that you have people who are very strict or very in a certain way, but actually no. We all love fashion. We all want to be pretty. We all love makeup. We all love dressing up, and I think that at the core of it, that pulls us together.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about controversies a little later on. Okay. Let's talk about running a magazine. So you manage editors. You manage people who write and you edit them. Okay. How does that work on a daily basis? So when you have your own writers now.
Crazy.
Okay. So what's the process like?
Okay. We used to be a monthly magazine.
Okay.
But now we've cut down to bi-monthly, so once every 2 months.
Okay.
Because it's just too overwhelming, And we have so many stories, so I'd rather pack it all in a bigger package, after 2 months. And it was also to give them more time to write their stories, because a lot of times these writers, entrepreneurs, bloggers, they have their own lives. They have their own businesses to run, families to take care of, schools, some of them are still students. You never know. So we give them more time to write. Of course, more breather time for me. How does it go? Honestly, it's chaotic. It's just, anybody who wants to write, send in, your pitch. I will look at it, and if I see that it's it's an interesting story, I say yes, or I kind of gear it towards a certain direction. And then they'll come back to me.
Okay.
That's it. It's very easy, very free and easy, honestly.
Awesome. And do you have like a pool of regular riders, or does it constantly change?
Oh, it constantly changes.
Okay.
Constantly changes. You know,
Okay.
I have people who come in and have written for us for like a few issues, but I do have a lot of new ones.
Okay. Well, is that a problem looking for people to write?
Thankfully, no.
No? Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
Thankfully, no. There are days, I won't lie, where I'll sit in the office going, oh no, what am I doing? Oh no, I don't have enough content. And I'll start like searching and everything. But I don't know how it'll just fall into place, thankfully.
Yeah.
When it comes to like almost the end, of our timeline, they will come and suddenly I'll have more than what I need.
What you need. Oh.
And I'll be like, okay, time to cut it down now.
Yeah. Cool, that's great. All right. So, sometimes things just fall into place, isn't it?
Things always work out.
It's true.
Don't stress.
When you least expect it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good advice. Because, I'm going to ask for more of your advice later on as well. Okay, so you work with women. Okay,
Yes.
so pretty much, all your writers are women. Okay, so
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about collaboration between women in your perspective? Do we need more of that? Like, how do you feel it's evolving? Do women support women these days? Or do they just kind of like, I really don't like you, you're just,
Funny you should ask that. I just had a conversation with my friend about that the other day. We were saying that thankfully at this point there are a lot of collaborations among women, and that's a good thing. That's a good start, right? But I think we need more.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we need more. And one thing that my friend and I shared the other day was we realized that there was very little, or maybe not any, mentorship. Do you realize?
Oh yeah. Like
Right.
no
Women
women
mentorship.
mentoring
Right?
women. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't have. Like, she was asking me, in my past, who have been my mentors. I looked back and I was like, oh yeah, they've all been guys. They've all been men, my bosses, my managers, who have taken me under their wing and said, I'm going to teach you this. But I've never had a woman mentor. Like, yeah, that's actually quite true. And I think we need more.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we need more.
Okay. Where do you feel like your role is in that kind of
Um,
mentoring women? Do you feel like you can do more of trying to mentor other ladies?
Honestly, and I'll be very honest here, I don't know if I am at that level where I can bring someone under my wing and mentor her, because I'm constantly learning.
Yeah.
I'm constantly, evolving.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the tools yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I hope so. I mean, I do hope to bring or help other young women, starting out.
Cool. Awesome.
I don't know if I can though.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I mean, all of us are constantly learning. I think we always have something that we can bring towards.
Yes. And I think that's the one thing that we have to, bring up more. Raise awareness to. We're always learning. We're never at the peak. We never stop learning. We're always evolving. We're always changing. Social climates change. We adapt.
Yeah. Sure. Just like your magazine, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's always constantly.
we've adapted, we constantly adapt. We started out wanting to be a local platform, and look at where we are today.
Yeah.
And along the way also, at first I was a bit afraid to touch on controversial topics, but with today's social climate, you cannot stay away from it.
Yeah.
So we're always evolving. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
I won't lie, we
Yeah.
do make mistakes,
Yeah.
but we always bounce back and we always try again. I think that's the way to go.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, there is.
Talking about controversial topics, let's get into that. Since
Okay.
we're women. Share with us maybe one or two pieces of article in your platform that is a little bit more controversial, and how do you deal with that? Like, what happened and how did you actually deal with that?
Okay. Well, I think one example I can give was is an article we published a few months ago, whereby a brand created a scarf
Okay.
and called it a pride scarf. So it's like a rainbow scarf.
Yeah.
To raise awareness for marriage equality
Okay.
in their country. And it was a scarf, it was a Muslim designer. They came to us and we were like, how do we do this? You know? Personally, I thought it was a beautiful story.
Yeah.
But would I want to put it out there? You
Yeah.
know, with talking about the LGBTQ community, because many religions, not just Islam, kind of frown upon that. Whatever your personal belief may be, that is a controversial topic. And whichever religion you may come from, it's a controversial topic.
Yeah.
So I won't lie, it took me 3 months to decide.
Oh, wow.
It took me a long time. I was
Yeah.
like toying with the idea. And I asked a lot of friends, and I asked my cousins, and should I write this story?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story, but how do I do this? Da, da, da. And they said, in your heart of hearts, would you be able to sleep at night knowing that you didn't tell the story? And I was like, no. And so I approached it gingerly and told it from the aspect of the brand, as opposed to us, endorsing it. So we're not endorsing, anything. We're on a neutral ground.
Yeah.
We're just telling the story.
Okay. Wow, that can be really quite scary, isn't it?
It was.
It
was.
3 months.
3 months. And we put it on the cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when that actually got published,
Mhm.
how was the reaction from your readers or even just mass public who don't necessarily read your magazine, and then comments come from everywhere? So what happened
There were two
then?
camps.
Okay.
There were people who said this is against religion and blah blah blah, and then we had people who said no, love is love is love is love, and I'm like, okay, let's just be neutral, right? And it was so scary, to be honest. But yeah, we approached it in a very neutral ground.
Okay.
We said, you know what, everybody is entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah.
You have an opinion, the other person has their opinion, let's talk about it. But let's not bring in hate rhetoric. Let's have a healthy conversation about this. And, thankfully, everything was okay.
Great. That's great. It built up some conversations though.
Which is good, and that's what we want. In the latest issue, just the one that we published, we have another controversial issue.
Share with us.
It's about race. So a brand decided to come up with this campaign, advertising campaign, to look for ambassadors from all around the world. But they wanted minorities, people who aren't necessarily seen in mainstream media.
Okay.
So their campaign was no whites allowed.
Yeah.
So it was like, whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
That sounds racist.
Yeah.
But if you dig deeper, they were actually trying to create a healthy conversation around race, around minorities, who may not necessarily be seen in the fashion industry or in mainstream media. And that's all they wanted to do. It wasn't like a racist campaign to say, okay, we're never going to promote Caucasians. No, it was just to flip the conversation, or to give the opportunity. The way I see it is they wanted to give the opportunities to the minorities who may not necessarily have been given the opportunities.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Because it's just like the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when the tables turned, you can imagine who came up and who voiced their opinion. And again, you have two different camps. Some said it was racist, and if they were being bigots and everything like that. But then on the other hand, you have people who say, no, this is empowering us.
Yeah.
Now you know how it feels on our end.
Yeah.
So again, it creates a healthy conversation, but we have to be mindful not to bring in hateful rhetoric.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, it doesn't really matter which camp you actually fall into.
Yes.
As long as you create a healthy conversation, talk about it, which is something that we need more of.
Yes.
To talk about.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Like, do people talk enough?
No.
These days? What is your idea about that?
I feel, unfortunately, maybe perhaps here. I think I don't know. In my personal opinion, we need to talk more. We do need to talk more. We do need to bring up more issues, healthy conversations surrounding these issues. I think a lot of the times people get very emotional, and which is rightfully so, because it's such a personal attack, if you will. But we gotta take the emotion out of it and have, again, a healthy conversation.
Yeah.
And that's the start, I think. That's the start. I hope we start to talk more. I hope we start to tell more stories.
That's a very inspiring statement to say. Because I'm sure there are people out there who may or may not watch this right now, who has their own personal story, but they probably are a bit too afraid to talk about because it could potentially be controversial. So how do you have you ever got that? Like, have you ever had like a writer who comes to you and be like, oh, Juliana, I really want to write this, but I don't know. So how do you deal with this?
I've been in that space myself. I wrote one story about being in a toxic relationship.
Okay.
And it was, I really poured myself into this article. At that time, I didn't intend to publish it. It was just for my own reading, just as a catharsis.
Yeah.
And I was afraid, but then I thought, I think my story would be able to help other people.
Yeah.
Because it would resonate with other people somehow. And that would help them in a way, so I have had writers who come to me and say, I have a story to tell, but I'm very scared. And I say, okay, take your time. We're not pushing, When you feel that your time, you're ready and the time is right, then we'll publish it.
Yeah.
But and if you want to go anonymous, totally fine too.
Yeah. Would that be the advice you would give someone
who's starting out?
Who might have a story?
Yeah.
Because
when I started, I didn't put my name on it.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So it was anonymous.
Anonymous.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then slowly but steadily, you gain that a little bit of courage and strength to put your name on it.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I think to start off, if you want, and you are so again going back to that story about the LGBT article. If I cannot sleep at night knowing that my story is not told, then put it out.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to put your name on it, then just go anonymous for now.
Okay. So would you say that your personal, I guess you developed personally as well over the last 5 years? I mean, coming from someone who wrote anonymous articles and then somehow coming out into public, just running Gaya Magazine, how has your personal life developed?
A lot, without getting emotional.
It's okay.
It has.
Sure.
No, it's okay. Well, when I started out, like I said, when I started out Gaya, it was just a fashion magazine. I was in it. I was like, okay, let's do this. It'll be fun and da da da. But as time went on, and as social climate changes, the magazine changes. We started talking about different topics. We adapted. I changed along the way. The magazine changed along the way. I changed along the way. If I may say, I think I put a lot of myself into every issue.
Okay.
You see a lot of my personality in there.
Yeah.
And so as it changes, I change as well. My views of the world, my view of people have changed. My view of myself has changed. I've gained a lot of confidence myself. Before this, I was very quiet, very reserved. I was a computer programmer sitting behind a desk every day.
Coding.
Yes, coding, But it got me out of my shell. And as I told my story and other people's stories, it opened my eyes to a whole different world. and I realized that we're all very different. We seem different, we look different,
Yeah.
but our stories are the same. Our struggles are the same.
Yeah.
And we can help one another,
Sure.
irrespective of where we live,
Yeah.
what we look like, who we are, what religion we come from, even. I actually come from a very mixed background.
Okay.
I'm Muslim, but my father's family is Catholic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my father is a convert, and I was raised by his parents, by my grandparents, my paternal grandparents. So for the first 12 years of my life, I lived in a very Catholic home. Come home with Jesus Christ and Mother Mary on the wall.
Wow. Okay.
Altar in the kitchen, going to church. Of course, not to pray,
Yeah.
but they couldn't leave me alone at home. So they brought me out. And at such a young age, I was so exposed to different religions, different races. But I was never treated differently.
Okay.
In our household, and my grandparents taught me, love is spoken in so many different languages.
Yeah.
Love is love.
Yeah.
And I think I put a lot of that into the issues as well, into the magazine.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Wow. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's sharing your heart. That's really lovely. Talking about struggles. Okay, we're gonna go into struggle bit. Okay, because as an entrepreneur yourself, you are what? Share with us something that you struggle. Maybe something that you feel like the audience can resonate with. Something that you struggle with every day and still working on it. It doesn't need to be solved.
To be honest, I now still struggle with depression a little bit.
Okay.
I come across, and a lot of people have seen, that have said to me, I come across as, someone very bubbly, very outgoing, very extroverted. But personally, I'm quite introvert myself.
Okay.
Very reserved. And entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, really.
Yeah.
So I tend to be in my own little bubble, And of course, when you have your own business, you have to worry about so many different things, finding sales, marketing, everything. You do everything yourself. So it's a lot of stress and sometimes gets you down and you've got no one to talk to.
Yeah.
So I do sometimes get into my little bubble and I go into depression sometimes.
Okay.
That's my struggle. And something I'm working on currently as well.
Okay. So how are you dealing with it today, like right now at this present moment?
I write.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because definitely.
Yeah,
I feel like the sharing story really helps.
Yes,
Okay.
it does. Sometimes these stories don't get published.
Okay.
Yeah. But writing things down for me helps a lot.
Okay.
It really does. I mean, for other people, maybe talking to someone or maybe doing like art or maybe going to the gym, something like that. Something active. I do. I mean, I go to the gym, but for me, my main focus or the one thing that truly helps me is writing.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to share a little bit also, since it's very open now.
Yeah.
One other thing I struggle with, or another thing that adds to my depression, is that I lost my grandmother recently.
Okay.
So, I don't have her to talk to.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sorry to hear that. But, every day is a day to progress.
But she was the one who said, "Tell your story." She was the one,
Such a cool grandmother.
Yeah. She was the one. There was one time I wrote a personal story about a toxic relationship.
Okay.
And I published it with my name.
Wow.
That was the first one I published with my name. So
that's the first article that wasn't anonymous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she read it.
Okay.
And she had other people telling her, she shouldn't have put it there, blah, 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 blah. My grandmother called me and said, these people are saying this. I was like, yeah, although it's okay. Let them talk.
Yeah.
You said your piece and you needed to say your piece.
Yeah.
And your story will help other people out there. So that's a win. Don't let other people get you down.
That's so awesome. That's such a good piece of advice. Because my next question was, how would you actually advise someone who's getting started and have their own personal struggles, especially starting out? Yeah. What would you advise them? Would you say that would be it, or you have something in Juliana's word?
No. Honestly, anything that I say is truly from her.
Okay. Yeah.
Whoever's starting out, I would say go for it. I mean, if it's something that you truly want to do and you find yourself, you can't sleep at night because you really want to do it, and that's how I felt. You really want to do it, then just do it, because you only live once, right? Go big or go home.
I know.
And there will be struggles. It's not an easy road. I won't lie. It's not easy at all. You've got to have supportive people around you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have. I mean, there are going to be naysayers, obviously.
Yeah.
Even today, I have people who tell me otherwise. I go through that all the time. But if you have your own support system, people who keep telling you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
That's all you have. That's all you need. That's all you need. And
Sure.
always believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. And that's where your support
There'll be
system
days
will
when,
come.
there'll be days that you don't.
Yeah,
For sure.
many days.
Yeah.
But that's where the support system comes, and that's important.
Great.
That's very, very important.
Talking about support system,
Mm.
so apt. Do you who's your role model? Who do you actually look up to get you through the days, or even it could be anyone,
My grandmother.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you still somehow talk to her in your writings.
I talk to her in the air.
Okay.
Yeah, some days I'm at home, I catch myself talking to her.
Okay. Yeah.
That helps me
Mm.
because she lived her life like an entrepreneur, to be honest.
Okay.
Back then when there was no such thing as that, right?
There's no such thing as entrepreneur.
Yeah, well, she was a housewife all her life, right? And when my grandfather died, she didn't know what to do, how is she going to sustain herself and everything like that. So she started looking after children. I mean, she's looked after children all her life, and she thought, okay, maybe she'll start looking after children, getting the money from that. And that was I think that was the start of her entrepreneurship. She didn't realize it was a business.
Yeah.
She was just giving back to community, or she was
Yeah.
just doing something she loved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's how she sustained herself. So I think I learned a lot from her, how to be tough, how to be strong. Yes, there are days you're going to feel weak, but you gotta have faith.
I like that. That's amazing. You gotta have faith. It's like talking to me as well.
Gotta have
Cool.
faith.
All right. What's the plan for Gaya in the next 2 to 3 years?
Honestly, I don't have one.
Right. Yeah, like how you just sailed through in the last 5 years.
ride
You just
the
kind of ride the wave. Yeah.
I think why I say that is because when I started out, I had that plan and I had my blinkers on, because once I get a plan into motion, I have my blinkers on.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
me. I'm focused. I get that there. But things change, and it's such a we live in a world where everything changes in a split second. Social media and everything and technology just changes. You've got to adapt.
Yeah.
So I don't plan 2 or 3 years down the road. I plan 2 or 3 months.
Okay, cool.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, what's next month? And then let's roll from there. Let's see what happens. Let's ride the wave. What's in? Let me talk about that.
Great.
Don't ask
Just
me
ride
to
the
do
wave.
this.
Yeah. Although I'm very curious though. So, I mean, we don't have plans. I mean, you don't have plans for Gaya. But how do you see this scaling like in the future? Would you be... I have no idea, but how do you see this growing
Wow.
bigger than nowadays already is?
I don't know. I think as it is right now, we're just writing stories, telling stories, talking about current affairs, talking about social issues. We have a blog also, so if it doesn't go on the magazine because there's just too many stories to put there, we put it on the blog.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stories going on. I don't know. I hope honestly that we can continue doing this and doing it bigger. Maybe touch on more controversial, topics, just to get healthy conversations going.
Yeah.
And steer in the right direction and showcase to the world that no matter what we look like, who we are, what religion we may be coming from, we're all the same. We're all the same, and we all crave for human interaction. We all crave for acceptance. We all crave for love.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
For sure. Yeah. And that human connection
And that
is
human connection.
very important.
Very, very important. We don't live a life alone. You know, we coexist.
Yeah.
We need to learn to coexist. I learned that from my grandmother. She, like I said, was Catholic and brought me to church. And then I would, at such a young age, like, what's this? What's that? What's going on? And she would always tell me, okay, we're very different. We're different. I'm like, but we're the same, right? You don't love me, right? Such a question. And then she goes, yes, on the surface we look different, but if you cut yourself, you bleed. What color do you bleed? I said red. What color do I bleed? Red. Same.
Wow. I love it. I love how Gaya has evolved. The purpose of it being from the start to now. Really, the purpose is touching lives right there with heart. That's really awesome.
And also to show the world that, because ultimately, even though we're a modest fashion magazine, our stories are geared towards the Muslim community around the world. It's also to show the world that Muslims have different sides, different looks, different everything. We're not just one and the same.
Yeah.
And we're not what mainstream media may paint us to be.
Yeah.
We're just the same.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Great, awesome. Thank you for sharing about Gaya, and I really hope in the next 2 or 3 years it will grow bigger. It will touch more people's lives, create more connections. I think that's really awesome what you have.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. So some fun questions. Okay. Before it's not exactly like it's quite tough some of the fun questions.
Okay.
But we're gonna do it. Okay. What is your why? Like, what's your drive getting up in the morning every single day?
What's my drive? Meeting people, I think.
Oh, cool.
Virtually, actually.
Right, yeah.
Because, we get emails from everywhere, and it's so amazing to get an email from somebody all across, somewhere in remote US, for instance, and say, hi, I read your article, I read the magazine, I followed you for years, and I love it, blah, blah, blah. I want to tell my story, and that that's what keeps me going, If it's not an email, and it's on social media.
Okay.
It's on social media, so it's nice. I like it.
So waking up every morning to talk to someone.
Yes.
That is really cool.
Yes, to talk to someone, because we are so confined in our little world. We don't know what's out there. And how often can we travel, right?
That's true. That's true.
I think social media keeps us together, although there is a downside to it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it keeps us close.
Just focus on the upside.
Cool.
Yeah. I know you write stories all the time, okay? But tell us one thing that you're super proud of that not many people know or no one knows. No one or not many people knows.
Proud of?
Yeah, something that you're, something that you're really proud of that not many people know.
Wow. That's a tough question.
Yeah, there you go. This is what we call fun.
I don't know. Wow. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Oh my, la la la.
We can come back to this, okay? Why don't you just put that as a back in the back of your mind? Because I have another really fun question.
Okay.
What is your definition of legacy?
Oh.
Easier, I hope.
Easier. My definition of legacy is to leave behind a lasting impression on people. And again, this is taking from my grandmother because she may not have had a lot, legacy, money, fame, whatever. But when she passed away, she has seen the number of people who came out.
Wow.
And that was a testament to her. She touched so many lives.
Yeah.
And it was a church, but you see Muslims there, Catholics, non-Catholics, everyone was there.
Yeah.
And that was a legacy. Touching someone, touching another someone. And I think that for me, if have even half of that, I've lived it.
Cool. Wow. Great. Now let's go back to that that question. Okay, maybe we can just combine this with this next one. Okay, what is your most humbling experience so far in the last 5 years since you ran Gaya?
Most humbling experience. Wow, that's tough too.
Maybe someone, you probably have touched someone's. I'm sure you touch people's lives every day, and that's really awesome. But it's maybe something that someone just came up to you and say something.
Oh.
There you go. I'm sure that is something that you're proud of, right?
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for the coaching. Okay. I think. Okay. Most humbling and also the proudest. I think yes, combine these two, right? Was when someone came to me and said, I see a lot of you, your personality, and your grandmother, and your values in the magazine. Like you put a lot of that in. You open your heart, and that in turn opens the heart of other people. I was like, okay. Cry.
Oh, that is really awesome.
Yeah.
That should be something that you're proud of.
Maybe that's the legacy.
There you go, and it all combines. It's all put together.
It's all about the heart. And like I said, going back to when we first started Gaya, it had the makings of a traditional magazine, just didn't have the heart. Now I know what it is.
That third issue, you were just like, something's missing.
Something's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just...
Glad you realized that early on.
Yeah. Now we know. The heart is personal stories. Touching someone, helping someone through telling your own story.
Yeah. And that's the beauty about stories, right? You don't know who is reading it, and you have no idea who you can be touching anytime.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Awesome. Share us 3 truths or lessons.
Okay.
If it was your last day on Earth today. Okay, let's do that again. I'm gonna read.
Was it like time?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
So if it was your last day on Earth and you have to leave some wisdom behind.
Leave some wisdom behind.
Yeah. Tell us 3 lessons or 3 truths that you can actually share with people.
Wow, I can only think of one word, to be honest with you.
Oh wow, okay. That could be one word and then they can expand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love. Really, just if this was the last day, just love wholeheartedly and give wholeheartedly. That's all it is.
That's the one lesson, and it just wraps everything up.
Yeah, because honestly, I think we're missing that today. With so much going on in the world, I think we're missing that. That human connection.
Yeah.
And then social media takes out the human connection as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you just need a hand to hold. Sometimes you just need a hug.
That's true.
I'm a hugger. I love to hug.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You've got another hugger.
So I think that's missing. You go, please. You go to the store, and if you talk to the storekeeper or the person behind the counter, people will be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
We're missing that. People are always in a rush.
Yeah, that's true.
I think just stop, talk to people, engage, love. That's it.
Yeah. Very wise lesson. It really is, and that's probably the most important thing.
Yes, we need more of that.
Yeah. Great, awesome. 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds to answer this.
Okay. This is gonna be tough.
Alright, 5 seconds right after I've finished my last word in this question. Who is your favorite model?
Model? As in what? Fashion model?
In the world. 5 seconds. 5.
Fashion model? Seriously?
Yeah, anyone, model.
Model person? Role model? What?
In the world.
Michelle Obama.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah.
You got that. You got that.
Yes.
That's 5 seconds of under pressure.
Under pressure. Grace, beauty, wit. Yeah. Love her wit and intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, she's funny too.
Yes.
Great sense of humor.
Great. She doesn't take herself too seriously.
I know.
Love
I
that.
think that's the most important.
Yeah,
That's
I need
right.
to learn that.
That is awesome. I think we all need to learn that.
Yeah.
Laugh it off.
laugh it off.
Great. Thank you so much, Juliana, for being here, for sharing your story. Really touched people's hearts.
Hopes.
Now, how can we support you? Like, how do we follow you on Instagram, Facebook? What do we do?
We're very active on social media, so
Okay.
Instagram at Gaya Magazine,
Okay.
and online. We write a lot of our stories. I mean, our magazine is downloadable for free.
Yeah.
Again, online, or our blog also has stories.
Yeah.
So it's www.gayamagazine.com.
Awesome. Cool. Great. We'll make sure we'll follow you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.